Um, Ever feel hyped for a movie only to walk out feeling underwhelmed? Like, um, it happens, um, and the people who spend a little bit more say, and then experts that had a strong product as a secret, and uh, we're diving into those big budget films that couldn't live up to the hype. Uh, let's explore the stories behind the disappointments. Um, George Lucas returned to the Star Wars universe with The Phantom Menace, aiming to show Anakin Skywalker's origins. While visually groundbreaking, similar disputes fans found it bogged down in trade disputes and quirky characters, shifting away from the saga's mystical core. It earned money, but divided audiences. Francis Ford Coppola revisited the Corleone family in The Godfather Part 3, and and despite a compelling story of Michael's attempts at redemption, the casting of Sofia Coppola as Mary drew criticism. It felt more like an epilogue than a necessary continuation of the saga. Spider-Man 3 tried to do too much, juggling multiple villains and a darker tone. uh, Studio interference forced in Venom, and the result was a disjointed mess. It ultimately led to a reboot of the franchise. Uh, uh, Harrison Ford returned as Indiana Jones in The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, but the film strayed into science fiction territory with aliens and over-the-top action. It lost the charm and grit of the original adventures. Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice aimed to deconstruct superhero mythology, but it became a gloomy and overstuffed film. The plot felt secondary to setting up a wider cinematic universe. Suicide Squad promised an edgy take on the superhero genre, but studio interference resulted in a tonally inconsistent film. Despite a strong opening, it failed to deliver on its potential element. Uh, um, the Matrix Revolutions shifted away from the virtual world, uh, focusing on a dreary war against the machines. The philosophical depth of the original was lost in CGI spectacle. Ridley Scott returned to the Alien universe with Prometheus, exploring the origins of humanity. While visually stunning, the script suffered from illogical character decisions. Uh, M. Night Shyamalan adapted The Last Airbender, but the film deviated significantly from the beloved animated series. Fans criticized the casting and the lackluster visual effects. Justice League suffered from production troubles and reshoots, uh, resulting in a disjointed film. The clash of directorial styles was evident, and the villain was weak. Uh, um, Fantastic Four was plagued by conflicts between the director and the studio. Um, and the final film felt rushed and lacked character development. X-Men: The Last Stand tried to adapt the Dark Phoenix saga, but it felt rushed and sacrificed character development for action sequences. X-Men Origins Wolverine suffered from unfinished visual effects and a portrayal of Deadpool that angered fans. Green Lantern failed to launch a new franchise with a generic story and a poorly designed costume. The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies, stretched a short book into a lengthy battle sequence, losing the emotional core of the story. Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland was visually striking, but it felt like a generic fantasy adventure, losing the whimsy of the original. Aragon failed to capture the magic of the book with rushed plot and underdeveloped characters. The Lone Ranger suffered from a bloated runtime and a confused tone, failing to recapture the magic of the original. Warcraft attempted to balance the perspectives of humans and orcs, but it failed to connect with audiences unfamiliar with the game. Assassin's Creed spent too much time in the modern day setting, and the plot became bogged down in exposition. Uh, Caps, well, Caps was an experience, and the digital fur technology created an uncanny valley effect that unsettled many viewers. It's a film that has to be seen to be believed. So, which of these cinematic disappointments stung the most for you? Let us know in the comments. Uh, with that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.